It's just a train. Thought it was an earthquake, didn't you? So, the Golden Money Palace that is behind me, a massive golden palace. You could say that that building is a form of psychogeography. Its position and its general appearance has quite serious psychoactive properties. It basically displays that it is important and it symbolizes control. When politicians on the run-up to a general election seem extra eager to become elected, it is of course not because that they really want to do something to change the system. Of course, politicians are in fact in place to make sure that minimal changes happen to the system, because the system is the thing that is like a sacred object to them. The system, of course, is the system of the collection of taxes, and then the will and the controlling arm over what happens to that large, unimaginable sum of money, which streams towards them every single month. Every individual who is a taxpayer has an account at the Money Palace that doesn't actually belong to them. For example, when I'm taxed, when I'm paid, my pay goes from my company into an account which has my title on it, my name on it, and then some money is transferred from that account to the Money Palace, and then I get the leftovers. So the initial ownership over the fruits of my labour belong to that account, which bears my name, yet I never have access to it. A certain amount is transferred out, and then the remainder is also transferred out into my bank account, and then I have access to it. It's that system that is, which has huge momentum. It is being spread throughout the planet. The system of commodifying individuals and basically creating tax slaves. It is that system that politicians want to get their hands on. Of course, when election is coming and the big blue party and the big red party pretend to represent different groups of people, they are, of course, all just representing the immovable, immune system of politics, which they must protect, otherwise they forfeit their jobs. Any politician who is elected upon the principle of the removal of the system of taxation is, of course, going to be sacked and basically probably thrown into the River Thames. That's probably what would happen to them. In order to... even the most high-profile, most seemingly powerful politicians, people like David Cameron, for example, when he's running for election, even he can only promise the tiniest of tweaks to the system. It's just a change in a value on this, or a change of a value on that, or a section of a subsection of money transferred from one set of people to another in order to appease them and make them friendly enough to vote for him. Did that make any sense? I don't know. Now, the way that, of course, the system perpetuates itself is by using confusion and fear. And that fear either comes from articles about coherent threats coming from the Middle East or radicalized individuals. But the fear is also present in the Houses of Parliament itself. It's a psychoactive building that changes our environment and makes us easier to control. And of course it's not the only psychoactive object in this town. In fact, a new one has just gone in at Marble Arch. Well, the psychogeography of this area has changed. There's been an additional thing placed here. I've talked about before in another video the horse's head and how, you know, the river Tyburn runs underneath it. It's basically a symbol of death. Well, there's another symbol here, and well, this guy's going to drive the bus out of the way so that we can see it. Maybe. You want to drive bus out of the way, mate? No, he's on his phone. Okay, he's not going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to go up to it and read the plaque to you, and maybe you'll see why I find it mildly suspicious. Am I going to die? Every time. So there's number 82 coming to flatten me. First miss me, mate. This apparently, according to the City of Westminster Council, is one of the most prestigious sites in the world. Are you sure about that? One of the most prestigious sites in the world? Are you sure about that? Whee! So this is called She Guardian. Do you remember when I was up at St Mary's Paddington Hospital, which is just up that road there, up Edgware Road? I said that Kate Middleton had a maternal grip over the psychology of the nation, and then a few days later this thing turned up, which is the symbol of feral maternal aggression, and it's called She Guardian. Let's read the sign. It's actually on the front here, no, it's on the side here. She Guardian, bronze, 2012. Oh god, hopefully this works okay. If you can't read it, I'll read it for you. It says, towering at an impressive 11 meters in height, She Guardian is a deeply mystical sculpture. The viewer sees a formidable mother defending its offspring. She exudes a sense of caution and deterrence to anyone who may approach. A powerful feline defender with blade-sharp wings that rear menacingly behind her back, which the artist uses to create something of beauty and noble impetus. The artist Dashi Namdakov demonstrates his unique relationship with the cultural heritage of the East by incorporating into his artwork motifs of guardians, intimidating figures who stand watch over the entrances of palaces and temples, inspired by the master sculptors of Assyria and Babylon. These protective and symbolic deities of the shamanic and Buddhist religions serve as deterrents and act as guardians of faith. Deterrence. Now this is psychogeography. This is something that is placed here to change the environment. For sure, it makes it a little bit more terrifying. In fact, that's what most articles that have been written about it say, that it's a demon. Is that guy freaked out, you know? This today is washing the lake with his back to the She Guardian because he's scared of... Oops! My microphone ran out of battery. Whoops! And I can't even remember what I was saying leading up to that. You should just look back on the footage, Sam. That'll tell you. Oh, okay. Oops, I forgot. This is a bit of a weird thing. I mean, yeah, it's based upon like ancient Buddhist mysticism or whatever, and it's now about to devour that bus. But can you see the number 11 formed by the wings? This thing, 11 meters high, placed here on the 11th of May 2015, and its wings form a number 11, and the number 11 that it represents is basically, it's the representation of a gateway. So, in a lot of ancient cultures they'd put, a column, two columns, and whether you're talking about the Temple of Solomon or whether you're talking about an Egyptian temple or whatever you're talking about, even in the city of London they have on the boundaries they have one dragon on one side of the road, a dragon on the other side of the road. These form the two pillars, which basically mean it's a gateway. Of course, that's a spiritual gateway that sucks our brains into it, so that we just feel a little bit scared. And it's that fear, of course, that's used as the control mechanism. I mean, it'd be very easy just for the state to, evaporate and let people live in just in a normal, organic and evolved way. And we would find out if the state suddenly magically look at all these guys. If the state suddenly magically disappeared, we would find actually that we're very good at living in peace and prosperity, because of course we are taxed by the state, and taxation is it's almost like a form of terror, in that it changes our lives. If we weren't taxed, our lives would be different. This guy, I scared it because it's like a little baby. It's like a little baby. These guys seem to have migrated away from the demon, and so have these guys seem to have migrated away from the demon. So certainly its psychoactive nature seems to be quite scary to things. Just rambling now, but yeah, it's just weird, and it shouldn't really be there, but there we go. That is apparently an important thing, that ancient demonic. Well, essentially, what the plan for this place is to, where the Tyburn tree is to create like a big 5-pronged tree, which looks like feathers coated in blood, which are sort of pointing downstream of the River Tyburn. So they're going to have, like, over there where the Odeon is, you see the tower, just down at ground level, they're going to have this massive tree that kind of arcs over the road, pointing in that direction. It's basically turning this into a kind of death sculpture area, which is just a bit weird. So when we hear, for example, the Australian Prime Minister saying, everyone must be scared because there's a death cult that want to harm us, he's telling you the truth. There is a death cult, and the echoes of them are here, and the echoes of them are everywhere, and it is the entrenched death cult that is the problem, not the created death cult, which of course is called ISIS. But I'm sure you're all aware, as I am, that the word ISIS actually means International Secret Intelligence Service, which is MI6. That building I was just pointing out, of course, is ISIS. Sorry, I mean MI6, and of course it's running along the banks of the River Isis. Sorry, I mean the River Thames. It is always good, of course, to bear in mind that when there's a change of government, whoever gets in, none of them have any even the smallest intent to represent the true feelings of ordinary people. They're put in place, of course, to create a barrier that stops ordinary people from recognizing that the system is odious and the system is criminal. The Conservatives want to write us a new Human Rights Act so that we can be better herded and fenced in. ISIS over there, MI6, they have just made it legal for themselves to surveil anyone they want. And it doesn't matter if that person is a criminal or a terrorist or just an ordinary person. They're now legally able to surveil all of our emails, all of our private conversations, all of our financial transferrings, and everything is being collated into a system called super identity, using the account that belongs to the money palace as the catalogue entry for all of us. So human rights apparently are important to David Cameron. Do I need to say anything more?